Testing. Blah, 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 blah.
Ready, set, go.
It's time for the Coach Amy and Coach Liz show.
A podcast for endurance athletes by two athletes, two coaches, and a physical therapist.
We are your hosts, Coach Amy
And Coach Liz.
coming to you from Kansas City. Okay, so we're recording today, and we're recording 4 or 5 episodes in one day. And I'm like, okay, Liz, which one now? Which topic one? She's like, whatever you want to do. And I'm like, that is so not helpful. I'm needing someone to make up my decisions for me.
I am not that person.
Hint. I'm indecisive today. Okay, eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Okay, let's talk hips.
Okay.
Because you have asked me this question before, and I'm winging it here.
Okay.
No prep. Go. What's the question?
I want to know the connection between engaging, how the hips engage, primarily the glutes, and ankle flexibility.
Okay, so the connection between the two.
Yes, because this comes because I have noticed on myself, and then consequently I was like, well, I wonder if this is true of other people. So when people are coming in for massage, people's ankles and feet are disasters. And it's there for the forgotten joint. I have a crusade about our ankles as humanity. But I really did notice so much how my ankles and my feet move and how much it affects what's going on in my hips. And I was like,
yes,
perhaps you have something to say on that.
There's an absolute 100% connection. So it is one of the things that's, when you're in PT school, hopefully you learned that. And if you didn't, that's going to be a travesty for your patients, because if someone is having hip issues and you neglect to screen, what is going down below and above and below. We're always looking above and below the joint, but we want to look 2 joints down, especially when we're talking about the foot and an athlete, but even someone who's just walking, right? Because that is your contact with the ground. That is your connection to the earth. And if that connection, either at the foot or the ankle, is in some way disrupted, maybe it's that you don't have strength and you've got too much movement, too much mobility, very unstable, or it could be that it's extremely rigid. So when you're moving and you've got your feet connected to the ground and we either have rigidity or instability, meaning wobbly, really wobbly, not a lot of strength, it's going to move up the chain. The rest of your body is going to respond to that. It's going to make modifications or compensations for that, the information that it's getting down there. So it could affect the knee, the hip, and the back. And it can even work up even higher, but let's stick with the hip question today, not to complicate things. So let's use you as an example and kind of go through it a little bit. So what do you feel is the thing that's issue with your hip?
Well, I couldn't, I don't know, I could just tell that my left hip, it felt like it was not there. I couldn't get it, it was not working. I just felt invisible. I just couldn't get it.
You couldn't engage it or bring it on board.
I could not.
Okay. And what's the issue with your left foot and ankle?
Because I had come to see you this. This was before Kona. This was 3 years ago. And my left toe has started to go in, and there's instability in that big toe joint. And so that was that's where it all started, really.
Yeah. So let's simplify it, meaning that your big toe was compromised in a way that didn't allow you to use it properly for, and it's more specifically for the run.
Yes.
And the big toe is an important part of the push-off phase of the running gait. And if for whatever reason, whether it's instability or rigid, either way, it's not able to be as enough of the picture, then we're not going to get that information during the push-off at the hip. So there's multiple things that could be going on with your hip, right? Yeah. It could be coming from the back, whatever. But there is a component for you. You're not getting the information necessarily during that push-off phase of gait to tell your body, okay, this is the part that I'm in, and now I need you to engage. Now I need you to push off. You know you need to, because you've been told you need to. You need to push the ground away from you and everything. But you're not getting that sort of what I call proprioception, where it's that sense of you know where you are in space. So if it's disrupted, either it's getting misinformation about where it is in space, or it's not. Am I confusing? Because I'm seeing your eyes. Okay.
No, because I'm going to recap it. Okay. I'm going to make sure I understand it.
Okay, good. So it's kind of like, I'll try to do an analogy. If you're inputting information into the computer, and you're expecting an outcome, right? You're like, I'm going to put in this math equation and I'm expecting this outcome. But if the data you put in is incorrect, then the output is going to be incorrect. And that's probably as simply, and I am so proud of that analogy. And
it's
when my
great.
husband hears it, he better clap.
Well, it makes a lot of sense, because what you are saying, and it sounds to me like this is happening on an unconscious level.
For sure.
Right.
And you could be like, squeeze glute, and we could
right.
work on all the neuro stuff, and we could work on everything possible. And it's just a part of information that's missing.
And so when I'm rolling through, like I'm pushing off, I'm going through my gait and I'm pushing off on the big toe, the way that you're supposed to when you roll through your gait, that because I have that instability in that big toe joint, it is not sending that proper information up the chain. And so thus it's affecting my hip because I'm not inputting that information correctly.
Yes. Okay. And that's one of the things. So I want to say, like, almost always, unless it's like I sprained my ankle, right? Or I broke my foot,
yeah.
right? These running injuries and issues are multifactorial. It's never one thing, and it's never just the shoe, and it's not just the toe, and it's not, but
they also compound. So it starts out one thing, and then it's like,
it's a puzzle piece part.
Yeah.
And we talk about people with that migrating toe, and that's it's called hallux valgus, where it's kind of coming in, and you've got that big bump on, what's the word that people call bunion, right? Yeah. So it's like, well, we can't go and just correct it, pull it over. We can prevent it from getting worse. But there are some things that we could work on to establish a better connection, to also to help the toe from migrating, getting worse, but also some strength things. In your case, it's a strength. It would be like we're working on some strength.
Yeah.
And you're
because
not,
it
you're
starts
not
to affect
lifting
your
weights
arch.
with your big toe.
No, but I mean, it really, I feel like once I got into that, then it's like, well, then it affects your arch, and it affects your ankle position, and that affects, what muscles are engaging through the hips. And so it was just kind of interesting, because it's been a 3 or 4 year process, very slowly kind of understanding where, like, following that line of how it, and kind of trying to unravel it. But it took a lot. It's still taking intentional work, and it really opened my eyes. And then I started looking at people's ankles and feet on my massage table, and I mean, they are a screaming disaster, people.
Yeah, we've got the claw toes, the hammer toes, we've got the very rigid ankles. So when we're talking about like ankle and foot rigidity, which is not what you have, but then, oh my gosh, usually what I see even more than hip there is the knee. The knee gets the brunt of that one. But anyway, so without us going into a whole big physical therapy how-to here, what's happening at the foot and ankle absolutely 100% affects what's going up above. Yeah. And if you need to be looking down. So if you are having hip issues or something like that, always make sure that your medical provider is looking, north and south of that joint to help you. North and south. All right. I crack myself up because it's proximal and distal are the words, but I've been using north and south in the clinic so people understand.
Well, I feel like that's good. It does. People aren't going to remember those
Where's
words.
Where's north, though? The top of your head, right? Okay,
yeah.
good.
I mean, we're going to end that right there. Okay.
Thanks so much for listening. And remember,
we are in this together. Until next time.